Hello, this is Godel. Welcome back to Feed the Beast Interactions Remastered. So since last time, I finished setting up building the LEV components. We have completed the bulk chapter here, which isn't really a bulk chapter anymore. It only required one of each. But I did go ahead and craft some good handful of LEV motors, so we have 40 of those just available for our use. In order to craft the pumps actually required silicone rubber, which we didn't really have, so I just set up a quick and on-demand requesting service for that. So this is made with this I don't even know how to say this dust. I'll let you, the reader, decide. So we make the liquid silicone rubber with this dust, which is made with that gas and water, and this gas is made with chloromethane and silicon, and chloromethane is just made with methanol, which we have from another process, and hydrochloric acid, which is kind of one of our common materials. So that's just on demand being made. I also made some LEV energy hatch and dynamo, so those are going to be used for multi-blocks. I haven't actually plugged any in yet, so our EBF down here is still on the IV energy hatches, and everything over there is still on the IV energy hatches, the multi-amp ones. But that is available to us now, and having those will allow us to scale our recipe tiers up to the ZPM tier recipes. Additionally, I went and I adjusted the length of the assembly line. So if we go over here, you can see that the assembly line is now, what is this, 12 blocks long? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I looked at the recipes for the assembly line, and I was just looking through these, and I was like, what is the longest recipe we're going to have to do? So this one has 9 inputs, so that's my longest so far. This one we are going to have to do, and it has 11 inputs, which means we need a 12th slice for the output. So 11 inputs is our longest. We have these batteries, the ultimate battery, the energy cluster, and the energy module, as well as the Lapitronic energy cluster. At the moment, I'm not seeing a need for those. We might revisit that in the future, especially if I want to make like Lapitronic energy clusters for our substation. Maybe. But we don't need those. And then the advanced, whatever this is, the quantum armor chest piece, I guess. That's the other thing that has more, but I don't really need that. We don't need it for anything, right? Yeah, we don't need that. That's just kind of its own standalone armor. Probably not going to be crafting that one either, just because we don't really need it. So, and yeah, that's it. So our longest recipe that we should need is 11. So I just bumped out our length with 11 inputs and 1 output. So this is what our assembly line length is going to look like. And then I also, oh, I ran past it. I also upgraded our major furnace coils. We now have Nakoda coil blocks on all of our furnaces. That increases the heating capacity by another 900, which allows higher tier recipes, as well as giving more discounts and stuff on lower tier recipes. So that's pretty cool. I moved our HSSG coils to the cracking units over here, just because that gives a slight energy discount. It's not a super significant energy discount, but it is something. And then also here on our multi-smelter, that gives a additional energy discount and lets us do more parallels. There are, as you know, or as you should know, there are coils inside of LCRs, but they actually do not seem to affect anything that the LCR does, at least not in this mod pack. And then the only other thing that uses coils are the Pyrolise oven, which we haven't made and haven't been using yet. But if we do use the Pyrolise oven, it gives a bonus in processing speed up to 4 times processing speed with the highest tier coil, but if we did HSSG, that'd be 2.5 times. Pretty good bonus. And yeah, that's the only other options we have for our coil blocks. So, anyways, And then I think I didn't write it on my list, but I've been doing some major upgrades to and planning with both with Thaumcraft and with Astral Sorcery. So I made this, or I didn't made it. I just had this arcane crafting terminal, and I think I have some more actually. Arcane, yeah, I have two more arcane crafting terminals. I found those in dungeons, but I went ahead and plugged this in. I turned my little workbench charger that I had over there on my arcane workbench. I turned it into a card, which basically applies that effect to this terminal, and now we can craft like ruined marble, for example, out of our system, which is cool. Though we don't have the fine steel for that, but that's now able to pull crystals and items directly from our ME storage. So I also just grabbed some of our Thaumcraft storage and brought it over here because it's kind of like, we're not really going to be needing all of this over here. I'm still going to leave that over there for now for the just infusion setup. But like all of our crystals we have in here, for example, I'm just going to go ahead and, suck them into our system. We really don't need those crystals over there to be for manual use. What else do we have over here? We have crystal quartz slivers. Those can stay over here for now. Some radon chickens that I think I had over here because I wanted to melt them down into Essentia, but I forgot, so let me just go ahead and do that real quick. Melt you down. Melt you down. Alright. There's those extra radon chickens melted down. I'll probably come back to like a alembic full of alienness because they just give so much alienness. But get some other aspects as well. So my plan with the Thaumcraft stuff is that I kind of want to make I want to do this recipe, right? The cluster recipe that involves the crucible. But in order to do this, we're going to need like an automated means of using the crucible. There's the Thaumatorium, but it's a little bit annoying to automate in bulk. So what we're instead going to be using, there's a mod in here called packaged auto. Where is it? Here it is. So packaged auto. And the packaged auto has a bunch of sub-modules for automating things from various mod packs. So there's one for automating Thaumcraft infusions, one for automating the table, the let's see, there's one for the where is it? Obviously, this one is the one that's of significance to us, the packaged Thaumatorium. So this is what we're going to try to use to automate our these recipes. And then other options, there are automated crafters for the Draconic Infusion. And there's also some stuff for Astral Sorcery. I'm not really sure how to use all of those right now, but it will be an option. But that brings us to our next concern. So two things have kind of been happening. As I've been kind of on the outskirts of my base, like down here-ish, I've actually been getting attacked by monsters again because it's just so far away from our Lucerna ritual, which if you remember, our Lucerna ritual, it's up here, but I have this ritual anchor projecting it down there. So it's centered on our base, but like it's just not reaching far enough. So I wanted to prepare to have a stronger ritual, and to do that, we use a crystal over here. In fact, I think I could go ahead and use this crystal. Do I have a prism? I do have a perfect quality prism. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a prism here, and then get my linking crystal really quick. Get a couple of mirrors or lenses. So I'm going to unlink this guy. I do have one link on that lens right here. He's shining some light onto our celestial crystal cluster here that is growing celestial crystals. I'll come back to talk about this in a second. But let me go ahead. Oh, we don't need this to be a prism lens because that's just able to be a regular lens. Okay, so let me put a lens up here. Now with this lens, I can... Let's see if we can reach this far. This lens can link to that lens. Great, and then this lens can link to the ritual, please. All right, great. And now that's powering up the ritual. So now we get this extra kind of beam effect, and what we want here is we need another lens here to reflect the light back into the ritual. So let me get some more lenses. Okay, hopefully we don't need more than 4 because 4 is all I have. And I'm just going to use chiseled marble for this. So this looks like it is right here, right on that tile. Kind of have to eyeball it because it's kind of shooting in a place like kind of in the air. So you just collect your light and then you shoot it back into the ritual. Now it's going to refract another beam. So we're going to do this one now. Collect that and shoot it back into the ritual. Here's another one. Basically, you do this until it's no longer bouncing. All right. And another one. Hopefully this is the last one because I am about to be out of... this is my last mirror that I have. All right. I don't see any other lenses, so I think this ritual is now... Oh, wait. No, there's another one here. Darn it. I think you could probably use a prism. Let me go down to my storage to see if I have a lens down here. No lenses. Okay, so how do you make a lens? To make a lens, you have to use a celestial crystal and all this fun stuff. Do we have this engraved? I'm just going to use our prism lens. And if this doesn't work, I will just go ahead and what's it called? I can go ahead and take that one from over there and use the prism lens over there, but this seems to have worked. Okay, so our ritual now has reached full power. And if we take our Phosic resonator and we change it to Domic, we can now see, if we click on the ritual, we can see the range of the ritual. Which hopefully it's bigger than this, because this is actually not really any bigger than what we had before. So yeah, from up there it's reaching the ground. I mean, I hope that it is bigger than that, because if it's really no bigger, then really didn't accomplish too much there by way of extending our no spawn radius. Okay, let's go over here. I'm actually gonna, just to test something, I'm gonna set it to nighttime. So let's do time at 10,000. All right, and I want to see if we're still getting spawns out. We're definitely still getting spawns out here. Okay. Let me take the time away. All right. That's a little disappointing. That was supposed to increase the potency of the ritual, like a lot, and it didn't do that. So I'm not sure why that would be. This is Lucerna. It is a 9252, but 92 purity is still pretty strong, so. Okay, well. Just in case this lens matters that it's a lens and not a prism lens, I'm going to go ahead and grab this lens over here. And I do need this to be a prism lens. Actually, we can probably make this lens be the prism lens. The reason I need a lens over here is because I wanted to shine light on my growing celestial crystal cluster here, and when the collector crystals over here actually can't reach, it's obstructed by the sky cauldron, which I still haven't talked about. I will talk about that in a moment. All right, so let's put a beam up there and then put a beam down here. And hopefully that's not obstructed. Yeah, that seems to be working. Okay, so kind of de-spaghettied that setup a little bit. Grab this lens now and put this lens there. Are there any stray beams at this point? No stray beams, right? Yeah, so that's fully powered again. Is this showing the radius any bigger than it was before? Not really. I don't know what's up with that. I feel like it's supposed to be significantly stronger. Maybe it has to be nighttime. Maybe the ritual has to be out, but regardless, it didn't really seem to like when we went down here in practice, it didn't seem to extend the radius of the non-spawning zone. Anyways, enough about that. Let's talk about what I've done over here. So between sessions, I set up a automation system for growing celestial crystals because we got access to these world block importers. World block importers. These are basically something that allow you to mine blocks. We didn't have access before because it was an IV, and when we tried to set it up before, we were an EV. So this world block importer is just set to pick up the item that matches a fully grown crystal. So when there is a fully grown crystal here, it will pick it up. And that will deposit it in this draconic chest over here. Then, I have some notes to explain what's going on. This fluid placer will wait until there are no entities above here, and once there are no entities above here, it will place more liquid starlight. And the reason I did that is because I was finding that when this broke, it would like show an entity for a split second, and then that would mess up another part of the process, or I'd be standing too close and it would detect me, and that would mess up part of the process. But that would place a starlight once there's no entities. This will now check if there is starlight in this tile. So liquid starlight, it's going to look for that. And if there is liquid starlight, this item exporter is going to export items from a list. So I made a list of items to export here. It just has a rock crystal. It has a rock crystal, it has a stardust, and it has a blank item in it. So it will basically export the index of an array equal to the amount of entities that are sitting there. So when there's 0 items sitting there, it will export the rock crystal. Then once the rock crystal is exported, it's going to be 1 item sitting there, so it's going to export the stardust. Then once the stardust is exported, it's going to be 2 items sitting there, so it's going to export blank. And then that's how we make sure we only drop 1 rock crystal and 1 stardust. Then those just grow in the liquid stardust, liquid starlight, and once they mature, the whole process repeats. So over in this chest, I just have a bunch of rock crystals. These are to be turned into celestial crystals with some stardust. So if I accelerate this process really quick, maybe we can see it in action. I am hesitant to pause here because I don't want to miss it on camera. We'll talk about that part over there in a second, but here, let's just watch this part over here. Okay, it just grew another stage, but it is still not fully grown. I'm not sure how to speed this up further because it's rather slow. Like, does speeding this thing up help? No idea. I'm trying to pause here and catch it when it actually pops here, so. Okay, it just popped, it just picked it up. So now it's waiting for there to be no entities here. Funny enough, the time in a bottle little sigil here actually does count as a entity. So there we go. The time in a bottle thing disappeared. It placed a new starlight, and then it dropped both of the items there. And now those are turning into a rock crystal again. This takes a second. Alright. It took like 30 seconds. I paused the footage there. And now it is growing a rock crystal once again. So yeah, that is just going to continue this loop. Every time it runs this loop, it turns one of these rock crystals into a celestial crystal. And then it moves on to our next step. So I have a phantom paste over here. It is hooked up to the Sky Cauldron right here. The Sky Cauldron is a multi-block by the multi-blocked mod. It looks like this all around. It's half of it's hanging off the island, so you can't see the whole thing. But it has the Advanced Celestial Collection multi-block inside of it. So if you see here, you can see there's the collector crystal, and then the pillar, and then, you know, all of the structure of that multi-block. So here's the marble base, the base of the multi-block with the liquid starlight, and then the pillars, and then the crystal, right? So you can actually use that as a advanced celestial collector. So this does the recipes of, it will take a rock crystal, or not a rock crystal, a celestial crystal of any type, and it will turn it into a 450 size, 100 purity, 100 cutting celestial crystal with a little bit of stardust and a little bit of liquid starlight. And also a little bit of starlight, which just has to be directed into the starlight collector. I'm doing that with this floating crystal over here. So um, that just upgrades our celestial crystals. So right now there's none processing. There might be one soon though. Anyways, as the celestial crystals upgrade, it pops out over here. And this is the storage chest for size upgrading, which is the next thing we do. So you remember, or you might remember a long time ago, I was upgrading the crystals by dropping them in liquid starlight and waiting for a while. Well, now I have a process doing it automatically. This simply drops 1 minus X items here, where X is the number of items currently dropped. So if there's an item dropped, it drops 0. But if there's no item dropped, it drops 1. And then this item here is just set to import an exact copy of a perfect crystal. So I have here I have somewhere. I think that's the item right there. This card right here is a copy of a perfect celestial crystal. This is a celestial crystal with perfect stats. So once it detects that that celestial crystal has perfect stats, it picks it up and throws it into my junk storage drawer, which you can see so far. They stack because they all have the same stats, and we have 5 of them. So eventually all of these are going to have perfect stats, and all of these are going to be celestial crystals, which is going to be nice. So, yay. Oh, hey, our thing is doing something now. I guess because it is actually Lucerna now. So what's our Domic Resonator say now? I mean, it's still kind of like the same range, though. I don't know. Let's drop down and see if we can tell like where mobs are spawning in from. So can't see any mobs from over here. Let's go a little further out. Turn on night vision. Yeah, there's some mobs over here. It did push back. I feel like it pushed back the radius a little bit, but we're still getting mobs like way out here, which is not desirable. Yeah, you can actually see them spawning in as we're going there. I thought the range of this thing is supposed to be huge, so I'm a little confused why it's not bigger. I guess I can look into other forms of non-spawning, which include using peace candles. It's a Thaumcraft infusion. Just uses some black candles and some other stuff that we don't really have any issues getting. And this is a 3-chunk radius. It can also spawn in village churches, but like I went to a lot of villages, like there's one here, there's one there, there. I like the name of this one. Azure Slammered. Anyways, yeah, we went to all sorts of villages and I never found one in any village. But the what's it called? The peace candle covers a radius of 3, so that would be a radius of let me turn on like a chunk view here. Oop, that is not a good chunk view. So if I had it here, it'd be 1, 2, 3. So it'd be from like here to 1, 2, 3. So it'd be like a square this big, right? But if I like drop them kind of around the outside of our base, that would give us a little bit more insulation against mob spawnings as we need it. But I was hoping Lucerna would be stronger, but I guess not. And there's one more Astro related upgrade I did. So you might have noticed up there I don't have the Starlight chicken egg and Astral Well set up anymore, and that is because I've moved it up here. So the Astral Wells have a few different bonuses that you can power them up with. One is the height, two is the amount of starlight in the chunk, and three is if you're hitting them with a collector crystal. Ow, please don't die, actually. Hold up, hold up. Let me fix my health first. Let me get the air charm so I can walk on the air. I really need to dump some stuff from my inventory. I got way too much junk on me. Alright. Okay, and I am just floating in the air via the air charm right here. So we've got a advanced collector crystal setup over here. This is just one of my Lucerna ones that I made before. And this is shining at these light wells. And these light wells are all just directing their fluid into a transfer node, which is teleporting it back to our base. But yeah, it's just chicken-powered starlight creation. This is kind of like the strongest way to make starlight. The only way you can make it stronger is if you use something that makes more starlight per tick, which we can look at in a second. So light well. If we look at liquid starlight recipes, celestial crystals. It should say here what the yield and durability is. Okay, so the yield of celestial crystal is 0.9, 0.7 for a rock crystal, 0.6 for a resonating gem, 0.4 for aquamarine. An attuned celestial crystal is 1, and an attuned rock crystal is 0.8. Nitor is 0.8. This is what we're using. We're using the Astral Enriched Egg, and it's 0.4. So all of the options I said before are like double as strong. However, some noteworthy things. Mana Diamond is 0.8. Let's see. Flawless Lapis is 1, which is actually not a bad idea because we can make Flawless Diamonds with the Precision Laser Engraver. So we could actually use those, and we can use that to increase our Starlight production. Flawless Sapphire is also 1. Nether Star Lens is 2, and it has a really high durability, so we could potentially use those. I mean, Nether Stars are not horribly to make, right? They just take pristine wither matter, not wither skeleton matter, and some soul sand. So that's a feasible thing. And then Primordial Pearls. So Primordial Pearls are kind of like our be-all, end-all of Starlight production. They have the highest yield by far, a yield of 4.5, so that's more than double Nether Star Lens. And they last like freaking forever. Vintium is actually the highest yield, but it doesn't last as long. And Vintium, or as you know, is from Euclides Prime. We have a bunch of it at home, but we would also need to kind of put that at Flawless. So as we need more Starlight, I might actually change this and set it to use Vintium ore if we're like using more Starlight than we're making. But right now, like one of these wells is making, I don't know exactly how much it's making. Here, let me put my air charm away and we can go back to base and take a look at how much it's making back there. All right. But yeah, just the setup over here. And another thing I could do to increase the amount of mana we're making is just put more wells over there. Oh, I also forgot to mention one thing. So I also mentioned that the starlight in a chunk is pertinent to how much starlight it makes. So when you run around with the Phosic Resonator, you get these blue fields that show up and are in this mod pack. You can see those if you turn on the starlight level display in what's this thing called? I forgot what this mod is called. Zero's world map. There we go. So we can actually see we happen to put our starlight platform in a pretty high starlight area, but there's basically a no bonus starlight area, a light bonus starlight area, and then like a moderate bonus starlight area. And I went around scanning just around our base to find some areas, and I found this blop right here of a bunch of bonus starlight, so that's why I built the altar over there. as opposed to just making it somewhere near our base, because that's a bunch of bonus starlight. And I should have tried to center it a little better, but once I built the multi-block, I was like, oh shoot, I don't want to move it. So that's way over there in the sky. It's chunk loaded over there, and it's sending us starlight. Here we can go downstairs and see how much starlight it's sending us by looking at our tank and just watching it kind of fill up over here. So you can see 1, 2, 3. It, like, probably a little less than 100 millibuckets a second. So not a terrible amount of starlight. Really quickly though, Vintium crystals. Vintium. Let's make some flawless Vintiums really quick because I wanna test that out. So 2 Vintiums equals 1 flawless Vintium. That goes in our laser, not blue, not brown. Laser glass is where that goes. So Vintium. Oh, and we have a bunch. Well, there we go. If we wanted to make them, this is how fast they craft. 4, 4, 4. They craft pretty quickly, right? I want to go check out how fast these are generating mana, just out of curiosity. I'll be back once I'm up there. Okay, I'm up here. I should probably start looking into other forms of transportation. Why is my health still so low? Did I, like, forget to heal that? I never took the healing fragments out of my inventory, out of my bag. Whoops. Okay, so you can't put these directly into the well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to accelerate these so that they break much more quickly. And then once this effect wears off, I will put them in there, and then we'll go back and see how much mana how much starlight we're generating. Okay, our last egg just broke. Now I'm just waiting for the effects to wear off of the acceleration. All right, let's put these in here. So this is 8 Vintium crystals. They should last a while in here. Like, the astral egg is said to last a durability of 10, and this is having a durability of 200, so it should last 20 times longer than the astral eggs, if I understand how that works properly. Okay, and then let me turn this back on so it can continue putting eggs once those are empty. Let's go back and see how much this is generating for power. Or not power, but for starlight. Should see a significant uptick, like more than 10 times. Oh yeah. There we go. That is liquid starlight galore now. Actually, I had like some liquid starlight in my inventory. Get that out of here. So yeah, when or if we need to upgrade our liquid starlight, I would just need to supply Vintium crystals. They should last a really long time, and then it's just like, okay, well, yeah, they're just gonna last, and I could probably set up a system like don't put any into the crucibles if we don't need starlight. Like set up a T flip-flop to only put them in when we're below 200 or something. I don't know. But yeah, we definitely have some options. Vintium crystals, we could also automate making Vintium dust, which we could turn into Vintium crystal with autoclave. So yeah, we wouldn't even need to go to we wouldn't even need to go to what's it called for that? Gee, I'm forgetting the words. Utilities prime to restock. However, I do be having a lot of Vintium, like a ridiculous amount. So I don't know we'd ever need to make more Vintium anyways. I did see that the Vintium egg makes rare earth, which is kind of interesting because rare earth gives samarium dust, and samarium dust we need a lot of for components after LUV. Well, what does ZPM motors use? ZPM still uses samarium, uses osmiridium, and uses europium. Europium's from fusion, so we're a little ways away from making these things. And then the tier after this would be UV, and UV uses still samarium, tritanium, which is a fusion metal, americium, which is a fusion metal. So yeah, those are pleasant looking to craft. I don't know if we're going to need to go that far in this mod pack, though, because our goal is to kind of just to get to the creative key, and once we get the creative key, that's kind of the wrapping up point of this mod pack. Anyways, we have these crystals over here. Time's going to tell if we actually end up using these, but... Oh, we got 3 while we were away doing our stuff. But, yeah, it's... all of this is set up to automatically make the most powerful crystals, so pretty excited about that. Alright, so I wanted to see if we can get some kind of Thaumcraft automation going for doing crystals, and I haven't actually ever used packaged auto packaged, whatever it's called. So that's going to be a little bit of a learning curve to figure out. But hopefully it works okay-ish, and hopefully it's able to get us to make our crystals with no problem. So we will see how that goes. Also, we're going to need to automate our ascension in some way, so it's going to be a little bit of a process, but let's see what we can do. I've made this little area over here, and I know it's kind of a cramped area, but I made it over here because I want it to be in the same chunk as... Oh, you know what? Now that I think about it, we have this ritual down here, right? The ritual of Eldritch Will is what it's called, and that collects flux in a 3x3 chunk area around it. So actually, we would be good to use to have our Thaumcraft stuff in any of these 9 chunks. So I don't actually have to have it in that tight little hole over there. Don't take that out of context. So we could definitely open up this wall and then have our Thaumcraft stuff be over here. In fact, I will go ahead and do that. I'm like looking at the height of this wall. Am I going to destroy it if I hit it with my drill right here? I'm thinking yes. So let's see. What's the height we want here? Looks like we want a height of 5. Okay. This should be... This should be safe to cut here. Almost got our altar there. Alright, I might just fill in the ceiling here. Let's put our drill away before I make a disaster somehow. Let me get some... Just some cobblestone to fill this in. Yeah, we have better tools than that. Hold on. Alright. And I'm gonna need more cobblestone than that as well. Alright, just fill this in. Plonk, 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 plonk. And then... Same from this axis as well. Plonk. There we go. And that's just where the cable runs. I'm just gonna leave that as is. Oh, wait. I seem to have destroyed the cable. Is there more cable on the ground somewhere here? We're missing a cable somehow. Get my magnet really quick. Oh, there it goes. I picked it up from somewhere. Okay. There we go. That's reconnected. Okay, then I'm probably not going to use this hole here, so let me just fill this up. Alright, so now we have a less claustrophobic feeling area for our Thaumcraft stuff, and I just have to do it before, like, the vacuum freezer. This chunk is within our range of our Eldritch Will, and any further this way is not. This one's also in range of it, but I'm probably not going to go in that direction, so... Alright. Maybe let's go ahead and prune back the wall here as well. I know a lot of people like digging above ground for their base, but I don't know why. I just like prefer digging underground and having underground areas for my base. Feels like easier to expand. Like I'm not good at building structures, if you haven't noticed. Alright, so from here to there is going to be our designated Thaumcraft automation experimentation area. Alright, Alright, so first things first, I think we're going to want to make a, one of these guides for packaged auto, because I don't really know how to use this mod, and I did already automate this packaging component, which is something that's in the circuit assembler. One thing I noticed in here is that it uses double compressed infinity dust, which I'm like, oh shoot, I better make sure that we have infinity dust coming on. So I came back over here and I re-automated that. Also, whoops, came over here with my magnet and ruined everything. All right, put these back. Sorry about that, guys. Not like guys, you guys, the viewers. I mean, guys, the crystals. But yeah, I have came back over here and I actually threw on some of the storage upgrade 5s here. So now that's actually storing significantly more, up to 640 stacks, which is insane. Just an insane amount of eggs. I might go and upgrade our, not eggs, affinity dust. I might upgrade our chicken eggs downstairs. That's what I meant to say. That's where eggs came from. But, yeah, let me clean up a little bit more of these tools in here. I just have a lot of random tools in my inventory right now because I was doing a lot of random things. All right, that feels sufficient for now. Got the inventory down to 1 row. Ender pouch, we also don't typically need that often. Okay, so I wanted to make... I made the manual. Okay, so I needed to read this. And we are interested about packaged thaumic. Refer to Thaumonomicon for details. Oh, okay, so we need to just go to Thaumonomicon, huh? Okay. Well, once we're ready to use maybe this for Astral, if we end up doing that, I will come back here for this, or if we use it for fusion draconic fusion crafting. Okay, well, where's my Thaumonomicon then? Here it is. Okay, so this has its own chapter. We have all the research unlocked, by the way. Just a reminder, we use the ancient Thaumonomicon, followed by the oh, why did this not actually give us the quest over there? Because this like uncompletes itself. There we go. Okay. And then I did have one of these, and I did do that, so I'm just gonna unwarp. Oh, actually, we should still have it, right? Warp. Yeah, we still have it. Okay, I was about to spawn myself one, but we still had it in storage. Okay, so that completes those quests. We don't really need this warp ward. And oh, that uncompleted the quest. Okay. All right. Well, whatever. Those quests are complete. Actually, there. If it's complete, then I can't claim the reward, and then it's not saying, "Hey, you have unclaimed rewards." I guess we can just mark these all as complete. Recent mod update, by the way, for 1.17 actually broke these commands. So if you are playing on your own in version 1.17, you need to do /Thaumcraft research at p add then the research name. Otherwise, it's not going to work because one of the mods changed the commands. Also, you can go to Thaumic Tweaker, and there's under enhancements enable improved commands. If you turn that off, that will also fix it. If you play on a server, you need to turn that off in the server for it to work. So just heads up. I reported that to the FTB issue tracker. Let me see if I got any replies yet. Yep, looks like they fixed it in dev version already, so. Anyways, yeah, Thaumonomicon. So we are looking at the packaging chapter. So here's packaging. This is like the intro where it starts. So we need to make these thaumic packaging components, what we're going to use. So this is just going to be an arcane workbench recipe. Then I think we're going to need these Essentia clathards. How do you even say this word? Clathrate. Okay, thank you, Google. So Essentia clathrates. And I think these effectively are like kind of the fluid materializer for or fluid discretizer, except it's for Thaumcraft Essentias. So let's go ahead and get these made. I think we need to make one of these. This clathrate, clathrate materializer. I think that's kind of like the fluid discretizer, which lets us have drops. So right now, we have drops of fluids in our system. I believe that's what lets us have Essentia drops, or the equivalent of Essentia drops. So let's go ahead and make those. So we're going to need the clathrate materializer. Then we're going to need, looks like 3 of these clathrate things. We're going to need some Fluix blocks. Fluix blocks, craft those, no problem. 1 random Salus Mundus. We are going to need a complex arcane mechanism. Oh, I have some simple arcane mechanisms. Let me make some brass really quick. We're going to need more of that. I do not know how to break brass ingots. Are you kidding me? Brass ingot. Alloy smelter, tin, and zinc. Alloy smelt. Okay, brass is now automated. Brass plates, please. Just make me like a stack of them. And then we also need thaumium. Which I don't have a lot of thaumium. How do you make this again? Is there an arc furnace recipe? Oh man. Can only make it in the crucible. Well, we can make 4 with stainless steel, so maybe I'll go do that really quick. Stainless steel. Let's just make, like, take half a stack of this. We still have our regular thaumatorium hooked up over here. This is where I made the purifying bath salts for the, that was for the, what's it called? The flux tome thingy. Not the flux, warp tome. Dewarpification tome. Alright, so some thaumium's cooking up. We don't even have thaumium plates automated either. Ugh. Thaumium plate. We're gonna metal bend some thaumium. Yeah, make sure it's the thaumium we actually have in storage, not like the wrong kind of thaumium. So bend C1. Alright, so now we can make some thaumium plates when we need them. Like, we didn't need them for this specifically. Oh, shoot, we needed more of these guys. I don't know how to set up auto-crafting for these, so for now, I'm just going to hold on auto-crafting this. Can you please put the thaumium plates? Like, I know we have them. Okay, so we have... Why did I make 2 of these? I only needed 1. Oopsie. Okay, well, I mean, maybe we'll use the other one later. Anyways, go ahead and grab that. And now we need a coalescence core. So how do we make that? Looks easy enough. Wait, sorry, what are these quicksilver drops? Okay. This terminal does not work as like the other one does. It's a little janky, and also you cannot tell it to make stuff that we have. So Fluix dust, I gotta go over here and manually tell it to make the Fluix dust. Alright, so we got some coalescence cores. Let me just make a few of those. So we need 1 of those for this infusion. Now we have everything we need for this infusion except the Essentia. I'll have to confirm that once we get over there. And I need to make these clathrate formers. So now I'm going to need 4 of these, I guess. Alright, so we're going to need 4 of these guys. I thought I made brass plates. Why? See? Like, I have them. Okay, iron plates is fair enough. I did not make those. Just make a bunch of them. Alright, so there's some iron plates. We need 4 of these. Buddy, what? Okay, so 4 of those. Check. We need morphic resonator. Okay, I know we have... Like, this is just not working with shift clicking consistently. And I know we have glass panes as well. Do I have a morphic resonator? We also have one already, so let me only make 3 of these. Alright, so that's done. We need packed ice. We can make it with some machines. Do I have any ice just in our system? I have regular ice in our system. Okay, let's make this recipe really quick. So we can make ice with the EMC table, but this frozen core, to do that, we need to alloy smelt pristine thermal with cryothium dust. That is not too bad. Alloy. And now let's make 8 packed ice. Oh, and we're missing ice, yes, of course. I haven't been in this table in a while, have we? 8. Okay, thermic packaging component. Okay, so we need ME packaging components. Amber we have. Brass we have. And clockwork mines. I think I found a fair number of those in dungeons. Yeah, so we just need the ME packaging components. We need 3 more. Ooh, yeah, see, these are expensive. A lot of Grains of Infinity. Let me just go up here and take a whole bunch out of here. Maybe I should figure out a better way to take these. This is kind of awful. And then how do I get these downstairs? Magnet juggle? Nah, we're gonna use my ender bag if I can find it. Or I'm just gonna magnet juggle because I can't find it. Ah, shoot, I just stole all the starlights again. I'm so sorry. Not starlight, crystals. Why am I still picking these up? The little integrated dynamic system is like, why do you keep doing this to me, man? Okay. So we got it in our handy bag here. Alright, I wish there was an easier way to extract stuff from a handy bag, but besides taking the memory card out and then pulling stuff from the memory card directly into our system, which, I mean, I could do that. Like, here, I have a chest here to do that with. But the problem is there's like a bunch of stuff that's not what I want to put into our storage there. Now it's just over here instead of in my memory card. It's in a different memory card. I could have also done it over here to port it into our system, but I didn't want to put all those ores into our system. Anyways, let's see if we have enough to make these guys now. Thaumic. Oh yeah, that's what I'm working on now. I'm like, oh geez, do I need more of these? No, it's what I already have. Okay, so we got those now. We have 4 of them. Let's go ahead and make this. Come on, guy. You know we have amber. Amber. Okay. There we go. There's our thaumic packaging components. We should have our packed ice ready to go. I can't see what that is. Brass plates times 8. Yeah, times 8. Brass plates. Simple porous stone plates. Oh, these are new. We don't have these. Needs alchemical construct and reinforced porous stone, which needs porous stone. Uh-oh, we don't have any of that. Where do we get that? We might need to go to a dungeon to get that. Or we might need to make it per that recipe. But I'm not sure where to find those stones. So, do I have any silk touch weapons? Ice cutter, silk harvest, ice. So only the saw harvest ice. Okay, let me just make... Do I have an old pickaxe? Like an old... I don't have an old pickaxe, huh? What about a hammer? Do I have an old hammer? I'm basically looking for like an old hammer that has just some kind of tool that has silk touch. Okay, I think I'm just gonna need to make one. That's okay. Let's go ahead. We can just make a crazy one with our technology here. Where's my molds and stuff? All right, here we go. I'm just gonna make a pure terra steel tool. So let's go over here, and I'm going to take Terra Steel. I think we're going to need 4 ingots. That should be correct. So bindings that are made out of metal is just 1 ingot for the binding, and then I think the pickaxe set is going to be 2. All right, where's our extruder? All right, extruder, I'm going to borrow you for a second. Even though I don't think there's a Terra Steel long rod anyways. Yeah, this is actually fine here. Okay, nothing happens. Good. Get my chisel really quick. So let's get a chisel and make this into a binding. So you are going to make a Terra Steel binding. Now you are going to make a Terra Steel tool rod. And now we are going to make a Terra Steel pickaxe head. Alright. And by the time we get to storage, those should be done. There we go. Yoink, yoink, yoink. Wait, did I just see durability 10 on these? No, okay, never mind. Alright. Go here, make a pickaxe. Terra Steel pickaxe, and then we are going to put Silky on it. Terra Firma. I don't know what Terra Firma does. While this tool is in your hand, or the armor is worn, you will heal over time. Really? That's kind of sick. Here, hold on. I want to test that. Let's just nosedive the ground. Yo. Does that use durability off the tool? I might just like have this in my inventory just to heal myself with, so I don't have to constantly, you know, take out my clusters and whatnot. Anyways, okay, so let's go find a Thaumcraft dungeon. So I think there's a dungeon Thaumcraft over here next to a Ray Mirror. And there's a dungeon Thaumcraft over there, not really close to any village, and there's one over here next to Jar Crammer. Yeah. Don't tell me where you're cramming the jars, but Alright, let's go over there. Haven't done some like world exploration for a while, so I'll take you with me. I'm not gonna necessarily cut this out. Alright. So, oh, I don't have enough experience to get over there. Uh-oh. Raymer. Okay, we can afford to get there. Good. I only had 2 levels of experience. I'm like, oh no, I have planned poorly because I forgot it needed experience to travel. Anyways, inside this Thaumcraft dungeon, we should find... Also, I think we need this barrier stone for something, right? Yeah, barrier stone if we need peace candles. I'm just gonna yoink all of these really quick because I forgot if I've yoinked them before. Alright, so we are going down our dungeon. Oh, this is cute. There's torches in here. Did I explore this before I had night vision? Hopefully we find some porous stone. So in these Thaumcraft dungeons, they have all sorts of flux-spewing monsters. And they do be turning stone into porous stone, so... I don't really want to fight the monsters, though, so I'm just going to go ahead and break anything I find. Rock crystal ore I'll definitely take. We can put those into our auto processing system thingy. I don't know what's hitting me. Alright, anyways, we are looking for porous stone. Excuse me? You sure you want to do that, buddy? There's a lot of ancient stone, but no porous stone so far. Alright, I see stone in here, but it's not porous. I see tainted soil, like, all over the place, but we're not finding any porous stone. Since at this point I'm just going to be running blindly around this dungeon until we find something, I will cut back once I find what we're looking for, so be back soon. Okay, here we go. Actually, not even, like, 5 seconds after that, I found some taint seeds. First of all, get out of here, buddy. Get out of here. Alright, you guys should know, every time I hit one of you with my katana, I just get stronger, so it's really a bad time for you if you keep spawning in and making me stronger. Alright. So there's some tainted rock here, and I'm pretty sure tainted rock is porous stone, but can we mine that? This isn't working. Like, something tells me we're not going to get the rock here. We got the tainted rock, actually. But the tainted rock's not what we need. We need porous stone. What is glyph stone? Research aid? I don't know. We don't need research. We know all of the research. Okay, let me keep running around and find some porous stone. I think porous stone is basically any corrupted stone that, like, got uncorrupted. And I have seen it in these dungeons before. That's why I'm here. So I will be back once I find some. Alright, here we go. I didn't find a bunch of porous stone, but I did find a bunch of tainted rock, and I believe to make it turn back into porous stone, you just need to, like, clear the sources of taint, which I did. There was, like, taint seeds and stuff around here, and then wait, and maybe we can accelerate them also. Yeah, so, I mean, one of those turned back. I forgot how many we need, so maybe if I just, like, accelerate a bunch of these. Me, when I start my guitar solo. I bet, like, the tile entities in here are going crazy if I look in that direction. Okay, that's actually not as dramatic as I thought. Okay, wow. Who said you could set me on fire? Alright, let's go ahead and start picking these up where we can. Okay. Got 9 so far. How many do we need of these? Just 1 for a reinforced. Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, so let's just vein mine what we have here. Hopefully this is enough to last us. And if not, I know where there's more. In fact, I will go ahead and, let me go ahead and claim this chunk right here that we're in. I'm going to chunk load this, and then bookmark it. And we know we can come back here if we need more porous stone. And hopefully by the time we come back, this porous stone will all be, or this tainted stone will all be porous stone, so. Alright. Now how do we actually turn that into what we needed again? Crucible with some stuff. Okay, it doesn't seem that bad. How did Thaumium do over here? Oh, it did pretty well. Alright. So, porous stones. Does this have any other use? Literally any at all? Nope, doesn't seem to. Okay. Let's just go ahead and make it all into that then. And then Tutamen. Ooh, we don't really have too much Tutamen. Let me grab some stuff out of our storage for that. Alright, we don't have wireless range over here. And I don't even see where my dang old thing is. Here we go. I feel like I've picked up a lot of armors. Yeah, so Dragon Scale Leggings should have Tutamen on it. It has a lot of Desiderium on it. Ooh, okay. But Elementum. Elementum Leggings, I can use those. I don't know if I want to, though. Let's use something else. Like Iron Leggings, yeah. Classic. Thaumium Leggings, sure. Because we're probably not realistically going to do anything else with them. So let's just melt those down. Alright, we're going to melt the Iron Leggings here. Then the... Oh, right. Alienist back up, of course. I forgot about that. Grab some... I don't even have any files over here. I guess I'm gonna... Well, I can empty that out over here, actually. Empty these files out, and then... grab a bunch of Alienists. And send that to the centrifuge. Okay. So these should be working now. Can we even burn melt this down. Oh, you know what? There's no fuel in here. That one time I'm like, hey, remember all the coke we brought over there a long time ago? Well, this will be an opportunity for the coke ovens to run, because I'm actually taking some coke out for some reason. For a reason, not for some reason. Alright, just do a dolphin nosedive into the floor over here. But it's okay, because I can equip my, my Terra Steel pickaxe, and it heals me. That's sweet. Okay, so... Oh, we cannot burn these legs, because they have too much Essentia. The smeltery has a cap here. Alright, we'll just do the Thaumium ones. Alright, that should be enough stuff over here. There is the refined stone we needed. We only needed 8 of these, right? Yeah, so let me go. Good old microcrafting days. Wow, that was... Apologies for that. Alright, there we go. Porous stone plates. And... Oh gosh, we need crucibles, huh? Let me make 4 cauldrons. Get 4 more Salus Mundus. Or a stack of it, I guess, because shift right-click was not working. Oh, we have a crucible in here. Okay, well, now we need that many less. I don't need sentient bow. I don't need spider egg. I don't need a potato. I'm a potato. Cauldron. Why did I make cauldrons anyways? Like, what was I doing with these? Infinite water cover. Okay, fair enough. Alright, let's make us some crucibles, and I'm gonna do it over here just in case it makes flux. Alright, there's our crucibles. Everfull urn. Everfull. Oh no, we only have 3 of them. Gosh dang it. This doesn't seem too bad though. I should have that. Crafting table. Let me just grab a crafting table because I'm not sure if we have Fabrico over there. Alright, is that everything? There's so much stuff for this, jeez. I didn't get the thing that we need to make the Everfull urn, which I believe is a vase. Flower pot. Vase, flower pot, what's the difference? Am I right? Okay, flower pot. And then I can teleport over here. I should probably remember that exists. Let's burn this crafting table really quick before the fire goes out. And then over here, I'm going to cancel this craft. We're just going to throw the porous stone in here for now. And I'm going to put Everfull urn instead. And I guess that Tutamin is just going to chill in there? Okay. Fabrico, we do have some already, so that's fine. Alright, there's our Everfull urn. Alright, now, this recipe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we need more pedestals as well. Ugh, that's annoying. We do have pedestals, but it's like, oh man, I didn't bring them with me. Pedestal. I'm just going to add it. I'm going to set it to 12. We're at 8 currently, so. Let me get my axe if I'm going to be breaking 4 wooden blocks. I might as well do it with the correct tool. Okay. Whew. Okay, this is a lot of items. So anything that is 8, we need to put 2 of. Anything that's 4, we need to put 1 of. Packed ice. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more items. This guy, 9. And the crucible, 10. And then what goes in the middle? The Everfull urn. Okay, what else are we missing then? The simple component. The morphic resonator. Okay, here we go. So, crucible, this, that, that, and that. Am I missing something? Because I don't feel like that was the correct number of items, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, what? We have 10. Did I miscount it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 10. We're good here. Except I made this asymmetrical on accident. What is asymmetrical? These two? Okay, I'm gonna pick that up and move it over here. All right, that should be symmetrical now. And Everfull Urn goes in the middle. How is our essential for this craft? We need Machina, Gellum, Aqua, Vitreous, and Vinculum. Machina. We don't have much Gellum, do we? No, we don't have any Gellum. Okay. Let me just grab some ice from over here. Ice. Burning the ice in the furnace as if it doesn't just turn into water, but sure. Alright, there's the Gellum. Should be set on that. How much ice did I put in? I don't know if I put enough ice. What am I doing? Alright, now with these 5 extra pieces of ice, we should be good. Aqua, we're good. Vitreous, we're good. And Machina, we were good, right? Yeah, okay. Start the craft. Pretty stable. Let me just make sure this is not going to fail for some weird reason. Nope, this should be good. Alright, let's accelerate it. Alright, there's the Clathrade. Now we get to put the recipe down again. So I'm gonna skip this one on this side. So let's do boom, 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 boom. Skip that one. Boom, boom, boom. We need the Everfull Urn, and then I'm missing 2 items over here. The brass plates. Yes, brass plates. Yeah, it'd be nice to like not have a bajillion things in my inventory. I should probably have made my Thaumcraft altar automation friendly. Okay, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Which one did I skip? That one for some reason? Okay. This, that. And then play the game of which item am I missing again? Oh, buddy. I can't keep doing this to myself. We have the... the ice. The ice. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can actually set this up before the time in a bottle wears off. And I'm not going to worry about stability because I think we have enough stability. Like, that's going to be slightly unstable. It wasn't even unstable enough to count. Alright, so we've got that done, finally. Now we can make the Clathrade materializers. We need the coalescing core in the middle. We need these 4 guys. I'm just going to put those on the outsides. Then we need a Salus Mundus and 2 Flux Flux. So Flux Flux, Salus Mundus, and then what was the last item? The Complex Construct, right? Yeah. Okay. We need 50 Permutatio, 25 Machina, some Ice, some Alchemia. Wow, I cannot read in this interface. Night Vision, can you go away? Whoa, jeez. Okay. So Vitreous, we're good on. Alchemia, we are good on. Alchemia. We need some Machina. How do we get Machina? Is that like lever? Is lever Machina? Let's make some levers, I guess. I'm not even like gonna go to my base to make them. I'm just gonna make them right here. Cobblestone. I don't need like a whole stack though. Like half a stack of levers should be enough. All right, levers go. All right, so there's Machina taken care of, and then Permutatio we are good on. And Gellum we are still good on. Okay, so we just need to wait for the Machina. Wait, we only need 25 Machina. Why am I making so many? Oh well. Okay, so this should be good to go. Let's turn on the craft. Double checking that we're good on stuff before I accelerate it. Yeah, okay. Accelerate away. Alright, there we go. Now we have the Clathroid Materializer. That was a lot of stuff. And what does this do? That's a good question. So I believe we put this on our network somewhere. And what that does, if we have Essentia in our network, which we don't currently, I should probably sort that out. What kind of Essentia are we gonna need? We're gonna need some Potentia. So let me go grab some Potentia. Do I have a jar? Okay, let me make a jar and then grab some Potentia over here. So we will need some Potentia. I already have some, I already have a storage unit set up somewhere. So let's make a warded jar. Please put the items, okay. Lab. Glass pane. Okay, to be fair, there weren't glass panes, so fair enough. Alright, warded jar. I'm just gonna set this up here temporarily. Let's do Essentia import bus, or I could do a Essentia storage bus, but I'm just gonna have them be in my storage system, so that should be fine. Okay, and for that we are missing the diffusion core. Make a few of those. Okay, so Essentia import bus. Plop that right there. Put our Potentia in there, and we should have it going into our Essentia storage cell, which is here. I got this from this quest reward however long ago, so I didn't make that. I just had it from a quest reward. And there we go. We can see the Potentia that's gone in there. 29 buckets. Oh, okay, sure. All right, so now we have Essentia in our system. And if I search for Potentia, heck yeah, there we go. There's our Essentia Clathroids. So this is basically solid form of Essentia. Kind of like how we have the drops, right? Drop. These are solid form of items, or of fluids. Now we have solid form of Essentia. What do we do with that? I don't know. I think that's going to be for next time, though, because this episode has gone on a while. Let's go check our rock crystals, though. 16 celestial crystals. We have one waiting to go in over here. This step over here is kind of our bottleneck as far as converting them, but we have converted a fair number of crystals here. This was like full to here before, and now we have 16 perfect crystals we can work with. Anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. If you're enjoying the series, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye. How do you stop recording?